Yo, what is up guys, it's Fullyspaced Talks. Today I'm going to be showing you a few tips and tricks on how to really improve your world. You're kind of the outland or the terraforming, you're just kind of general world surfaces. So just things like exterior terrain kind of things. Obviously you're going to have bushes, things like that, paths, you're going to have like nice ponds and things, and just kind of walkways and stuff. I can kind of really show you how to kind of give you some ideas of how to invest these things into your world and create a nice looking world for your survival world, or for even your creative world, for anybody who plays in creative and then just likes to build things like I do. I generally build a lot of things and use these kind of designs. They make my builds look really good, and also they're just a nice thing to add. Obviously when you play in creative you can create really cool things that will take a lot less time than someone in survival. However, these things are really small and simple that will actually help increase your look of your survival world. So anyone who would like these tips and tricks, feel free to stick around. So today I'm going to start off by showing you guys simple things like this. We got a bush, for example, or a leaves, just leaves, on top of these fences. So we've got some fence poles and I put them in a diagonal, and you can add leaves on top like so. So you have 3 at the back and then on top as well. And these create for nice kind of off-path decorations. So you can have a path that goes down the middle here, in between these, and you can literally just fill it in with leaves like so. And these will give you some nice kind of path decorations, and they can really create a nice just off to the side area of your path, so something that kind of just decorates your world ever so slightly. You can just have them laying around your world as well, but obviously using paths to navigate from one place to another in your world will be absolute key, and we'll discuss that a bit more when I get over to the path section there. But these little bushes here are just kind of things that you can put off to the side. For example, over here I've got kind of this circle going on with these bushes, but I've left some gaps in between, and I've just filled them with some rose bushes, and then went ahead and just bone milled around them, creating this nice little kind of circular flower garden. It looks really nice. And then obviously you can do the same with exactly the same with any other flower you would really want, but I've added in these coaster and then paths in this little diagonal zigzag kind of pattern, and it creates for a nice bit of farmland. Nice little bit of like maybe kind of manually farmed. It's always one of those things that I like to say when you're building something and trying to figure out why that build has a purpose. So trying to give something your build a purpose. For example, this may be somewhere on a farmland. Farmers recently just planted it, or it could be your crops are just drying up and they actually need to be looked after more. There's always the small things you can add to for example, or maybe they're just freshly planted and the dirt hasn't quite turned back into, you know, grass or something. So they've literally just been dug up freshly out of nowhere, and obviously hasn't quite had a chance to go back to how it was. They always do add a nice little effect as well, using different types of blocks instead of just using green for the grass blocks. Obviously it's just going to be one singular color, so it will look fairly okay, but something like this looks a lot more better in my opinion. So there are just a few small tips you can use here and there. Next up, I'm going to discuss small things like ponds. So you can have ponds, you can literally man-make them yourself. So this is what I did. All I did was whack out a load of blocks and then start off kind of higher on the outside, and as we head towards the middle it gets lower and lower. However, when you get to the low points, you can always make them slightly higher again when it comes to filling them in. So then once I've done that, I filled the whole thing in with a mixture of stone, cobblestone, just stone and cobblestone, I believe. And obviously I use stone cobblestone stairs as well, and slabs. So they've got different arrays of heights and things in here. So we've got stairs down there, we've got slabs here and there, so we've got a slab on top of that. Kind of in this would be the direct middle. However, I've lowered some parts and then made this direct middle bit slightly higher. So you've got so many different parts of the pond that has different depths of it. There's a lot of different kind of ways that it kind of makes it looks like a natural pond instead of like some sort of man-made one. Obviously if you wanted some sort of pond that looks like a person has actually dug it out, then you would make a lot more sense to make it look more kind of I imagine it would be more symmetrical. It would look more of the same shape. However, when you have something like this that kind of looks like it's naturally formed, and then maybe someone's come along and thought, oh, we could add water to this, or it was just a naturally formed pond, there are always things you need to think about as well. So if you have something in your garden, you can make it look like an actual pond, and it doesn't really matter too much about it. But when you make a pond that's outside, you can have things like this just kind of scattered around, a bit janky here and there, really making it like it's been naturally formed. And then obviously someone's come along and decided, you know what, we'll stick a bench here so we can look over into the kind of pond and just sit there and browse for the meantime. So they're just small things to think about too. Obviously you could add waterfalls and things. Didn't really get around to building one of those, but you can add things like that. And yeah, they're just nice little touches that you can add to your world. Now, recently I did upload a video on a bunch of path designs, so feel free if you want to learn how to make some paths to go ahead and do that. But I'm just going to show you with a mixture of, you know, different blocks for paths and obviously the bushes. You can create a really nice path as well. As you can see over here, this is what it just looks like. So you got a standard path, all these bushes, really nice. And then if you want to, you can add these small things, so you get these nice little kind of, you're not really sure, like gateway type things, arched. They're just arches really. I'm not really sure on the exact key word for these, but I'm just gonna call them arches. So like you get these little archways. I'm just using 3 fences and then on top campfires and extinguishing them with water. And you can just walk across those. But you can create some really giant archways with things like logs and then slab stairs and spruce planks and things, or planks, doesn't matter about any kind of wood. I generally use spruce. I think spruce is probably one of the better looking things. And then just bone mealing around it creates this really kind of cool pathway. This looks like it would be somewhere maybe in like a really nice park, or maybe like a garden centre or something. So yeah, there was, once again, things to take note of, small things to add to your world to really create and make your world look that much better. And always one of the favourite things that I personally think that looks really good is trees. I actually probably am not as good as I thought. Well, I've never thought I was good at trees, but I've never really been good at making custom trees. But they are something that when you work on, you can create some really incredible ones. So I came up with this little design, really simple one. So just kind of going around in like a circle around the bottom, knocking out these blocks here. And then as you go up by one, you leave a space, and then you go up again and build in, and then you just make it smaller and smaller as you go all the way up, and you get this really nice kind of tree. Kind of looks like a giant Christmas tree in my opinion, but maybe you could have like a giant Christmas tree type forest. I'm not really sure the exact word for what a Christmas tree type is, because I'm not really keen on trees. Sorry if I offend anybody who knows a lot about trees. But yeah, adding custom trees to your world will always help improve the look of it as well, especially when building maps, so adventure maps and things. Custom trees always look better than the normal Minecraft generated trees. They just look very small and just not very nice. So there's something that, as much as I hate building them, I should probably add them to my survival world at some point. But yes, they're just a small thing to take note. And obviously, discuss the arches. They're just nice things to add on the pathways. They just kind of really, they just make a path feel a lot nicer. You can use them for a lot of things as well. So just take note of those. And then obviously, this is something that I use quite a lot. For anybody who sees my building videos, generally I have these scattered outside a house. So if I had a house here, I would have these scattered outside. These things are just to make look like maybe you're moving, someone's moving from one place to another, so you can move, look like someone's moving into the house, or you could leave barrels and things outside of a fishing hut or something. Just look like all these barrels are empty, or maybe a little pub, so you can have some kegs and things that are left outside that need to be picked up. Always when creating or building, trying to give yourself a reason or story behind it. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe for more content. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. Peace.